India plans to buy massive, this $4 billion wall-like radar from Russia. Just see the massive size of it. Do you see the massive size of this radar? Okay, so Russians can only build, or for that matter, I feel that only Chinese can build. Obviously, if a miniaturization would be required, maybe Americans can do. But when it comes to big, large and super large machines, it is mostly today either are Chinese or that, USSR used to do it. So this is a mega size of a radar. And once India gets this radar, I'm telling you, this Voronezh radar system, once it's installed in Karnataka, it will give a strategic advantage to India. We'll understand that on a map also. So India is in advanced discussion with Russia for a $4 billion defense deal, and this is only for one single radar I'm talking to you. One single radar worth $4 billion. Okay, with Voronezh radar, a cutting-edge early warning radar. This news did not come in the Hindu newspaper. I have taken it from other newspaper. It was in First Post, I think it was in Indian Express also, but it is a very important news. So that is why I have taken from other newspaper, because in Hindu, most of the times I do not get important security or weapons news. So I got this news from there. So the radar system will significantly enhance India's air and defense surveillance capabilities, and such as we would be easily able to target China, South Asia and Indian Ocean. So this was discussed recently. Defense Minister was in Russia. We had covered that IAS Tulin news yesterday. He was in Kaliningrad for the inauguration of that frigate. So if you see, so from, if I take from Delhi into Beijing, the aerial distance is around 3,500 kilometers. So this radar should be placed somewhere here. And its vertical range is 8,000 kilometers and horizontal range is 6,000 kilometers. So vertical range, if you say 8,000 kilometers, horizontal range is around 6,000 kilometers. Just imagine that amount of coverage. So it would be covering entire China, Pakistan, for that matter, Uzbekistan. Just do that. Say, even if we take 6,000 kilometers, let's take the, on the smaller side, it would be covering everything. 6,000 kilometers of a range of a radar. So we are not buying two. If we buy two, actually we don't need two, because this would be able to cover majority of areas which can attack India. So it can from any threat which is coming from maritime, any threat which can coming from Pakistan and much beyond, any threat which is coming from China. Majorly our focus is towards China, because the kind of Chinese Navy which is going now, China's Navy is the largest in the world, and it is a matter of time when a skirmish or a skirmish or fight between Indian Navy and Chinese Navy happens in future. It might happen. We have already seen Galwan. So there is high chances that this fight happens. So in this context, this radar would be very important. See the amount of coverage it can do. And when we have a nuclear policy where we follow no first use, this kind of deterrent system is very important. So this is the range. Vertical range is 8,000 kilometers. Horizontal range is 6,000 kilometers, and this is the kind of coverage it will do. And that is why I think that is why the cost of this particular radar. So Voronezh radar, it is developed by Russia's Alamaz Anti-Corporation. It is very famous for radar and military and missile technologies, and for that matter can track over 500 objects simultaneously. So if 500 objects are simultaneously coming, so if somebody has launched 200 drones or 100 missiles, or for that matter you say stealth aircrafts and frigates, so 500 are coming together, it can study, or it is able to get the blip of that on the radar, and then the countermeasures by the forces or the security forces, anti-aircraft, anti-missiles, or all these, for example, S-400 system and everything that can be deployed. Other important thing about Voronezh radar is that it is deployable with all of the equipments we have. For example, we have Rafale, we have Russian equipments, we have American equipments. So this can be easily integrated. For example, you have a Rafale. For example, you have a Chinook. For example, you have a S-400 system. And then you have Voronezh radar. The software should talk to 4 of them. Because if the software is not integrated in 4 of them, they will not talk to each other. So in this context, Voronezh radar can easily integrate, and that is why it is very important. Okay. So it can track and monitor ballistic missiles, stealth aircraft and fighter jets, ICBM, that is intercontinental ballistic missiles, near earth objects in space, and it can go over the horizon. So horizon is what I can see directly. Obviously when you talk about 6,000, 8,000 kilometers, it can go beyond. Okay, obviously 8,000 or 6,000 kilometers is much beyond which we can see in a horizon. So it's a state-of-art system, technology, strategic edge to India, bolstering India's situational awareness and early warning mechanisms, which will give a befitting edge to India, specifically how the Chinese are growing. So the radar will address India's evolving security, particularly in terms of China. It enhances India's capabilities to detect threats from China, Pakistan, or any other enemy country in the future, and strengthens India's defense, specifically Indian Ocean region. When we talk about Indo-Pacific, where Indian Navy fleet is increasing, and the Admiral Tripathi is talking that every month a new ship would be added. So every week you are hearing a new missile or a new system is being incorporated. This is happening because from the point of view of the Chinese threat, which is evolving, and how geopolitics might change in the coming decade. So other important thing is that Make in India initiative is also part of it, that 60% of the 60% of the deal, 60% of the product of this radar would be done manufacturing in India. So lot of parts and other things will be manufactured in India. So that will generate huge amount of employment, because these parts will start getting created. So military complexes will start coming, and these military complexes will generate a huge amount of employment. See, if you see the American economy, this is the amount of weapons they sell, that the amount of money they are making. Obviously, there are the tech industries also. Similarly, once we make our military complexes, once these parts are being manufactured, obviously it will go in a long way. So a team of alumni visited India to explore local partnership of production offsets. The radar is likely to be installed in Chitradurg, Karnataka. I have already told you. The site has already been surveyed for installation readiness. And in Chitradurg, you have most of the Indian Air Force is deployed, and very sophisticated technology or armaments are there with the Indian Air Force. They are at that point of time, Indian Air Force at Chitradurg. So reinforces India's Russia defense partnership, ensuring continued cooperation in advanced technology and infrastructure development. Yesterday also we had covered when Defense Minister Rajnath Singh had said that it is deliberate that we want to strengthen our relationship, or it's a conscious decision to strengthen our relationship with Russia. And in the current geopolitical environment, it is very important also. So provides India with an early warning system, technology transfer and local manufacturing. And also there are talks that, in this, once this radar and everything is done, the TOT of this radar can also happen, so that we can also manufacture it and put in different parts of the country. Thank you for watching this video. For complete video, please watch Daily Decodes, and the link to that video is given in the description. And please don't forget to like, share and subscribe the channel. And do press the bell icon for all the updates.